Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Virtual College Exploration Series for all Illinois students. We are so thrilled to get to have you here today and participating in this event this evening. Wanted to give you a quick reminder that your camera and your audio are off. This is a webinar platform, so if you're looking for the little button to turn your camera or audio off, don't panic. We cannot see or hear you. And so as you're going through this presentation today, I know that the panel is going to have some interactive moments as well. Please use that Q&A function, and that will send directly to the panelists that we have today, and they will answer your questions as we go. I would also like to encourage you that if you like this session or you'd like to explore more sessions, to sign up for more at IACAC.org. We've got a ton of different presentations that will be happening still in the next few weeks. And if you can't attend or you'd like to watch a session again, you can always go check out the recording that will be available on IACAC.org for any session, even if you didn't register or attend. So without further ado, I'm going to hand it over to our panelists who are going to present today. And so take it away. Thank you all.
All right, hello. I can go first because I think someone else was going, but they're muted. I'm a student at Illinois Tech. I'm a third year statistics and computer science major, and I'm really excited to be here.
All right, so my name's Kaylin. I'm currently a junior at WPI and I'm studying industrial engineering.
Hello, I am Emily Wahardo and I am a junior biomedical engineering student at Rose-Hulman Institute of Technology.
All right, thank you so much to our students for joining us today. Hi everyone, my name is Kara O'Connell. I'm one of the admissions counselors, and we're going to start off with a brief presentation about each of our individual institutions, and then we're going to be bridging into a presentation, or excuse me, into a student panel about student life and experiences at STEM institutions. So I'm going to hand it off to Kaylin from Illinois Tech so she can give us her introduction.
Awesome, thank you. Like she said, my name's Kaylin. I'm one of the first year admission counselors at Illinois Tech. I'm also the dual programs coordinator, which I'll talk about in a couple seconds. But I'm just gonna quickly go over Illinois Tech to give you a bit of a snapshot about what we are. So we have 3,000 undergraduate students with 3,500 graduate students. So this means that we are a small university or a small campus. So if you're looking for those one-on-one connections, Illinois Tech may be a good fit for you. We do have over 40 undergraduate majors within our 5 colleges, which we offer Armour College of Engineering, College of Architecture, College of Computing, with an artificial intelligence program and cybersecurity, computer science, and things like that. Lewis College of Science and Letters, which has our biology, chemistry, physics variations, and then also our social sciences, humanities, and things like that. And then our 5th college is Stewart School of Business. So we do offer a business administration degree here. We have over 60 plus minors, and this is where we see some of that interdisciplinary approach come in, where students may minor across the different colleges, such as, you know, majoring in mechanical engineering but getting a minor in entrepreneurship, or studying architecture but getting a minor in music. So there's a lot of kind of options for our students here, what they're choosing to study. And then we do have early admission into our pre-health programs. So we offer pre-optometry, pre-osteopathic medicine, pre-pharmacy, as well as a dental program as well for students. And like I said, I'm the dual programs coordinator, so I can walk you through those steps later on. The really big thing about Illinois Tech is that we focus on experiential learning, and kind of 2 things that we like to highlight is our iPro. It's a year-long problem-solving course where students are tasked to solve real-world problems. And it's really exciting to see students, you know, show their skills and what they've been learning. Some iPros that I like to talk about, there was one that they created a mesh net to be placed inside a washing machine to collect microfibers from entering the water supply. So a lot of really cool projects happen out of the iPro. Elevate is our experiential learning opportunities hub. So this is where study abroad is located, internships, short courses, competitions, and undergraduate research opportunity as well that students can directly apply for. And we have moved things to a virtual format, so we're even offering virtual study abroad programs right now. And then just kind of the last things down there, we have tons of organizations. Samya is involved in half of the organizations on our campus, so I'm sure she can talk more about them later on. We're also a Division III university, and then 70% of our students live on campus, so we definitely have that residential feel to us. And then the last thing that I want to say is we are a free application on the Common App, and we are test optional for fall 2021 and spring 2021 applicants.
Hi everyone, I'm Ashlyn Fortner. I'm an assistant director in the Office of Admissions at Rose-Hulman Institute of Technology. So thanks for tuning in and learning a little bit more about our schools today. So just a quick background on Rose-Hulman. We are a STEM institution located in Terre Haute, Indiana. Terre Haute is about an hour directly west of Indianapolis, right off of the interstate. So we're about 4 hours south of Chicago. And we're kind of right on the Indiana-Illinois border. We have about 2,000 undergraduate students on campus. We're mostly undergraduate focused. We have about 100 graduate students at any given time. So we are a very small campus. We have 18 STEM majors, so we strictly offer majors in science, engineering, and mathematics. You may have heard of us for engineering, but we still offer majors in science and mathematics as well. We've been ranked the #1 undergraduate engineering school for the last 22 years in a row, so we're very, very proud of that. We love to continue to meet those recognitions every year. We have a 13-to-1 student-to-faculty ratio. Average class size is around 20 students. All of our classes are taught by faculty members. So we don't have any grad students or teaching assistants teaching our courses. And so your classes will be very small, even right away in the freshman year. We don't have lecture halls or anything where you'd be in a huge classroom setting like that. We put a lot of emphasis on students getting internships and co-ops and research experience during their time at Rose-Hulman. About 95% of our students will complete at least one internship or co-op before they graduate. About 70% of students will complete 2 of those experiences. So a lot of students will do those throughout the year, and then by the time they're a senior, they're really set up with a lot of job offers. Average starting salary for our students for the class of 2019 was over $73,000. I should have the 2020 data here really soon. Placement rate is right around 98% within 6 months after graduation. Like I said, we're very hands-on, and because of that undergraduate focus, our students have access to all of our labs to get involved with research right away as a freshman, so they don't have to wait until they're an upperclassman or a graduate student. Everything is very accessible to them. And just a quick note about our admissions process. We are on the Common application, and we have our own application on our website. You can apply through either or. We have a November 1st early action deadline. That's non-binding. 99% of our students receive some type of financial aid or scholarship from us, and we basically are direct to all our programs, so we don't cap our majors. You don't have to apply to a specific program. When you're admitted to Rose, you're admitted to all of our offerings. I think that's about it for me, and I'll turn it over to our next school.
All right, thank you, Ashlyn. So hi, everyone. My name is Kara O'Connell. I use she, her, hers pronouns, and I'm an admissions counselor at Worcester Polytechnic Institute, or WPI. We're located in Worcester, Massachusetts, so a little bit farther. It's a little bit later for me here than it might be for you there. And so Worcester is the 2nd largest city in the region of New England. We're just about an hour from Boston. And WPI itself, we're a medium-sized university, about 4,500 undergraduate students, and we do have a 13-to-1 student-to-faculty ratio. We offer over 50 different degree programs, including 12 different majors in engineering, a full school of business, and we also offer our students the ability to double major or to add a minor during their course of study. We also offer accelerated BS/MS programs for students who want to start pursuing their master's degree as their undergraduates, and about 20% of our students enroll undecided. So it's completely okay to not know exactly what you want to do when you come to WPI. We are one of those schools where once you apply to WPI, if you're accepted to study whatever it is that you'd like, and you can change your mind a couple times, and I know Caitlin will talk about that when she's representing us later on the student panel. And I do want to point out too that we have a 95% retention rate from first year to sophomore year, which is really great. Our students seem to be pretty happy at WPI, which is of course something that we're very proud of. At WPI, instead of having the 2 traditional semesters, we have 4 7-week terms. And in each of those 7 weeks, you're taking 3 classes. So this gives our students the chance to really dive deep into the material and really get to know their professors and their classmates, as well as move through course sequences a little bit quicker. Something else that's pretty great is that we do offer, of course, hands-on project-based learning. You're going to be doing projects in every single one of your classes. And we also have large-scale projects that are built into the curriculum. A lot of our students take advantage of our Global Projects program, which gives every single one of our students in any major the chance to study abroad if that's something that interests them. And our study abroad is a little bit different. We have over 50 different global project centers, and instead of taking classes at another university, you'll be doing hands-on project work somewhere else if that is what you're interested in doing. We are a Division III school, and we do have 20 varsity sports, 10 men's and 10 women's. We also have 250 plus clubs and organizations, so if sports aren't your thing, there's definitely something else for you here. I do just want to mention that 97% of our students do receive financial aid, and we are on the Common Application. That's the only way you can apply to us at WPI. We offer both early decision and early action deadlines, as well as regular decision. So the first deadline for us is November 1st, and the last day to apply to WPI by is February 15th. So I think that that is pretty much it. Oh, I just wanted to mention as well that we are test optional. We have been since 2007. So at WPI, not submitting an ACT or SAT score is never going to have a negative impact on your application or on your ability to receive scholarships. So just something important to note for us. And that is what I've got. So I'm going to put up on the screen just for a moment here. Our contact information is counselors. Feel free to jot this down or take a quick screenshot. And again, right now we're going to be transitioning into a student panel. So we encourage everyone to ask their questions that they may have in the Q&A. And I'm going to hand it over to Ashlyn, who is going to introduce our students again and get us started on that. Thanks, folks.
All right, thank you, Kara. Well, I'm just going to ask each of the students to introduce themselves again. We can just go in the order of the schools we presented in. Maybe just say your name, your major, if you can kind of give a brief intro of maybe why you chose your school, what you're involved with outside the classroom, that kind of thing. For our students, I think we had a few jump on after we did introductions, and then we'll get started with the panel. So students viewing in today, if you want to go ahead and start submitting questions, that'd be great.
All right, I can start us off. My name is Samia. I am a 3rd year here at Illinois Institute of Technology. So I'm double majoring in computer science and statistics, and I'm also doing an accelerated master's program. So I'm getting like 3 degrees all in about 4.5 to 5 years. One of the main reasons I chose Illinois Tech is because of its location. So we are like pretty centrally located in the city. We're like 3 stops away from downtown on the train. And so it's really, really nice to be able to go out and explore like on the weekends and stuff, you know, especially pre-COVID when there were more places for us to go. Outside of my academics, I'm actually involved in a lot of things. So I am in a sorority, Alpha Sigma Alpha, and also the Greek Honor Society, Order of Omega. I've also started, founded a couple of organizations, and I'm the current president of a few professional development organizations at my institution, including the American Statistical Association and the Association for Women in Math. And then for fun, I do a couple of other orgs, including a cappella here on campus, as well as writing for Tech News. I'm also a Leadership Academy Scholar, which is a full tuition scholarship. I can talk more about that later if people have questions.
Hello, I'm Emily Guajardo from Rose-Hulman Institute of Technology. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm majoring in biomedical engineering, and I'm a junior, sorry, got those a little out of order. But I initially came to Rose-Hulman because one of my best friends in high school, her mom works as an engineer, and she kept hyping up Rose-Hulman and talking about how it was an amazing school, and if she could do college over again, she would go to Rose. So that really just sold me on the school, hearing that all throughout high school. And I definitely stayed because I loved the culture on campus. I am currently involved in campus by working as a freshman resident assistant. So I live in the freshman residence halls and just take care of all of my kids. And I'm also involved in Greek life. I'm currently serving as Alpha Omicron Pi's philanthropy chair. So that keeps me busy.
All right, so good evening, everyone. My name's Kaylin. I'm currently a junior at WPI, and I'm majoring in industrial engineering. The main reason I chose WPI is because I just really fell in love with the WPI plan, specifically the 7-week terms, even though it seemed really scary and still kind of is at times, and the project-based curriculum. And on campus, I do way too much in addition to working as an admissions associate and diversity outreach associate. And this is working in the admissions office with Kara and a few other people from the admissions team. I'm also a peer learning mentor, a first-generation student peer mentor, and I'm a part of National Society of Black Engineers. And for fun, I'm on the Green Team and the Greenhouse and Horticulture Club.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. Well, doesn't look like we have any questions yet. So students tuning in, feel free to submit questions. Since it's kind of a student life focused chat, maybe we can start with what your favorite thing about living on campus is, or if you're not living on campus, what your favorite thing about living on campus was.
I can go ahead and start us off. So I've lived on campus. This is my 3rd year, and I've lived on campus the entire time. I just think it's really, really convenient to be able to roll out of bed for my 8:30 a.m. classes at like 8:15 and make it to class on time. It's just also really convenient when there's lots of events and stuff that you want to do. I'm really involved on campus, and it's really nice to be able to attend all these events regardless of what time they are. A lot of these events are like late at night. I also work at the Bog, which is like our on-campus bowling alley, and sometimes we're open until 1 a.m. in the morning. And so it's really nice to be able to work, play, and live in the same place.
I loved living on campus so much my freshman year. I kind of turned it into a job working as a resident assistant. I absolutely love Rose's culture on campus. One of my favorite parts about it is we kind of have an open door policy, which means that pretty much everyone on campus just leaves their doors open. And it's looked a little different during a pandemic, but in general, it's just so people can pop their heads in, say hi, see what you're doing, have a fun time hanging out. And your hall really works as a family. So there'll be about 50 to 60 people in your hall, and everyone is just there to like have a good time. It's looked very different during this pandemic, but everyone is just like friends, ready to hang out, ready to help with homework if that's what you need, and just love living on campus these past years.
So I'm remote now just because of the pandemic and everything, but for the first 2 years I lived on campus, and I mainly loved it just because of the size of the campus, and like the dorms are relatively close to classes, so I could literally wake up sometimes 10 minutes before my class started and just get to class really fast. And then just because of how the RAs plan everything, like everybody on each floor was pretty close, so I made friends really easily with everyone on my floor, and it was like a bigger family, so that was really nice.
So it looks like we do have a question for the Rose-Hulman rep about the pros and cons of the size of school and campus.
Sorry, I was muted there when I was trying to talk, guys. Yeah, so it's specifically for Rose, but if you guys all want to answer, I think that's totally fine. Talk about the pros and cons of the size of the school and campus.
So I'll go and start. Rose definitely is a small school, but that's definitely one of the things that I love about it. I just know pretty much everyone on campus, like walking around, it's a bunch of familiar faces, and I've definitely been able to like make lots and lots of friends. Just the other day, I went to like pick up a package, and the person in the mailroom just recognized who I was just because I've been here for a while, and that was very unexpected, but I think that I love about Rose. Definitely there are lots of like, this campus is really like a home. There's like lots of different like facilities. Like we have a the SRC is Sports Recreation Center, so I had been paying for gym membership when I was in high school, and I didn't have to do that anymore, so there's lots of cool things around campus. It definitely is a small school, which is what I wanted, so if that's not what you're looking at, that probably is a con. But yeah, don't really have much bad to say about the size of the campus.
All right, I'll go next. So again, IIT is a pretty small school. We've got like about 3,200 undergraduates. And I think it's something that I really, really like about the school. So I'm very involved on campus. I hold a lot of positions in different offices around the school as well. And so it just feels very homey, very cozy, because I feel like I know most of the people that go here in one form or another. And even if I don't personally know them, most people know me, which is really nice, just because if I'm walking to class or I'm walking into our commons, which is like the cafeteria that we have on campus, I'll find at least 2 or 3 people that like I know, and we'll have like a conversation on my way there and my way back. So it's just really nice to have that close-knit community. Another thing about IIT is that since we're a STEM school, everyone's got kind of that nerd vibe going. And it's very universally accepted that we're all these weirdos that are into STEM and into math and into like engineering and stuff. And no, it's never questioned. So it's like a really safe space if you want to geek out about anything tech related.
I definitely say, yeah, WPI is a pretty smaller school too. And I really liked it because at least for me, it was a lot easier to get involved and like work my way into leadership positions a little bit quicker. And just like in a more academic setting, like professors, like some of the classes are a lot smaller. So I have a lot of professors I had like freshman year who I still remember and they still remember me. And it's pretty nice. And also just the whole family type atmosphere, like similar to what Emily was saying as well. Like I see a lot of familiar faces all the time, and it's rare that I see somebody I haven't seen like at one point or another.
Make sure to turn on my microphone this time. Sorry, guys. Okay, so another question that I think would be helpful to answer is maybe do you have any advice for students as they're entering college, how to get involved on campus? Any tips or tricks with, you know, how to find certain clubs or organizations to get involved with?
So with the pandemic, it's going to look a little different than it did at the beginning of our college experience, because we had these huge like welcome back bashes where all of the student organizations were physically present. And so while it might be a little bit different, that shouldn't dissuade anyone from trying to join any of these clubs and organizations. Find out which social media your school is the most active on. For Illinois Tech, we have a Facebook group, which is the Illinois Tech student community, which a lot of our organizations and a lot of our students are very active on. So any events that are happening in the school at any point will always be posted there by the different organizations to kind of garner more people. And that's a really good way to find out about events. We also obviously have like the traditional ways of marketing, like we have flyers up, we have this really cool platform called Presence, which allows like the organizations to register their events. And so you can like take a look at the week and see what's coming up. Don't be shy. Like you're going into your first year of college, you might not know people. And you might feel a little bit like you're out of place, but everyone feels like they're out of place in their first few weeks of college. So just go up and say hi to someone. You never know how like they might become your best friend for the rest of your life.
All right. So just with the pandemic and everything, it probably is a lot more difficult to just, you know, walk up to someone and say hi or what club are you in? So something I found, like if it's still the exact same, like with a lot of classes being online, you might see people that you might think are interesting, or you might just want to reach out. And I don't know if a lot of other colleges use it, but we have TechSync at WPI, and it's a good way to see like what's going on or what clubs are meeting at certain times, and they usually have their Zoom links there so you can join in. And it's actually almost a little bit easier now to join clubs because you can see all of the times that they're starting, and it's virtual, so you don't have to worry about, you know, walking anywhere if you don't really feel like it. And that's a really good way. I've actually done that this year. I mean, as a junior, if I see someone in a class and ask them what clubs they're in, and that's a good way to get to know people.
Typically during a non-pandemic year, during orientation week, Rose will have this really big activities fair, and all the different clubs will come, have their own booths. There's a lot of really good place to get free stuff. But we had all of that online this year, and just joining different clubs is a really good way to get to know people and start to build a friend group. If you're like trying to build a friend group and getting to know people on campus, just within your residence halls typically does a really good job of that at Rose. A lot of like my lifelong friends have lived in my residence halls. And as well, like Greek recruitment is also another really good way to get to know people at Rose. Not to plug it too hard. But it's just a good way to get to know people. And I found, at least like in my sorority experience, no one is like judgmental if you don't actually join a Greek organization. They're just like super happy to get to know people during that whole recruitment process. Yeah.
Can confirm as another member in a Greek chapter. We did have a question. This person's just a junior, but they wanted to know what they can do to prepare for applying to colleges. And I think the best thing is to find something that you're really interested in doing. It could be like a subject, it could be some sort of like robotics or activities, something that you do think you want to find in college and learn more about, just because STEM careers and STEM education on its own is already hard. It's going to be much harder if you're not passionate about it.
Just adding on to that, another thing you can do is something that I found really helpful, like on a piece of paper or anything, just write a list of like things you like in a classroom, or like, do I like being in bigger environments? Do I like being in smaller environments? Like, do I like a faster pace, a slower pace, or things like that? Like what type of environments you learn better in. And then of course, consider your major that you're thinking about. Like, of course, like consider colleges that have that major, like, do you want to go close or far? And that's just definitely something you can do early. So, you know, by senior year, it can help you narrow down like at least what region you want to be in or what type of size school you're thinking about. So it'd be a bit easier. And then you could, like, YouTube's great for that, like watching intro videos for school or the admissions videos. That's pretty nice.
Has been a while since I was a junior in high school as well, but the biggest piece of advice I would take into my senior year is start your applications early. Don't procrastinate on it. You want to have put your best foot forward to colleges, and just again, like trying to make a list of what you want. I also find making pro con lists helped me my senior year.
I think all of us admissions reps can agree with apply early. We all like that. Okay, another question you guys can answer. What's the biggest challenge of balancing schoolwork with your clubs and activities?
Time management. You got to learn that early on. I've always been very involved on campus, and freshman year that meant me not being able to go to sleep until 3 a.m. every day because I had so much to do and so much to get done, and I was planning all the events on the school's campus. So like know your priorities, know your limits, and like set up times that you can do things. Google Calendar will be your best friend in college.
I can piggyback on that calendaring point. I definitely found calendaring was a skill that I needed to work on the most coming to college. Whatever calendar plan you have might not work the first time, so you might have to go through a couple different strategies. But just knowing where you need to be at what times, and knowing a little bit ahead of time so you're not dropping everything to run to a club meeting. Just like making sure that you have a schedule, especially during online school. That's been very helpful during this pandemic.
Yeah, similar for me. I think one of the biggest challenges is it seems like everything's happening at once. And just at WPI, we mainly use Outlook, and I've been living by my Outlook calendar because I have a lot of leadership positions, and sometimes I feel like I have to be in 2 spots at once. And so it's just a matter of like prioritizing what needs to be done quicker and like what can wait a little bit. So it definitely it's taken me time to realize that. I think now I'm finally getting the hang of it.
Okay, this is kind of a fun question. What does a typical day look like for you guys?
Depends. If it's a Monday or a Wednesday, I have an 8 a.m. class. Don't suggest 8 a.m.s if you're not a morning person. I don't like them myself. But usually I'll have like classes, and then I have a few positions on campus. And so I'll have like work in between some of my classes. If there's a large gap between them, I'll probably pick up a shift. So I'll be working either at admissions as a mentor for first years, or like at the welcome desk for my school. And then the evening will be, I have like one evening class on Mondays, but other than that, all my evenings are either I'll be working or doing club meetings and activities pretty much every day. And then the weekends are kind of time for me to catch up on myself, binge watch one of my favorite shows, and or like if we weren't in a pandemic, go out and explore the city. Another cool thing is that as you go higher up in years, generally what I've seen is that you get 3-day weekends, because I only have one class on Fridays and it's a recitation. So it's only an hour long.
Okay, so for me, I can go like both now and then pre-pandemic. So now, I mean, since I'm remote, like everything's remote for me, I'm mainly just logging onto my computer, and I do have an 8 a.m. class as well. So it's a little bit harder being home and waking up at like 8 o'clock for a class, but it's nice. But pre-pandemic, I was a work study student as well. So usually I'd have all my classes, and then in between the day, I would like do my work study job, and then I became an admissions associate like later in the year last year, so I didn't actually get to do that as much, but I most of my club meetings are in the evening, so that's pretty nice. And then later on in the evening, when I could, I'd usually hang out with friends or hang out with people on my floor. And then the weekends were usually still kind of free time, and then Sunday was making up on work.
Most classes at Rose are Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and then Wednesdays is our lab day. So Wednesdays you'll have 3-hour labs, but it depends. Most labs are 3 hours. But like you're still doing really cool stuff in those labs, like even your freshman year. Which also means if you don't have labs, you might get a weekend Wednesday where you don't have anything in the middle of the week. So that's what I have now, and it is real nice. So typically 8 to 5 is school time, getting lunch, trying to get everything done, meet with professors during that day. And then after 5, there's like a period of time where we have hall dinner. So if you live on campus, your entire hall will go eat dinner together. There will be your res life screaming throughout the hall, trying to get everyone to come, reminding you that it's dinner time to eat. And then after that, whatever club activities you're involved in, and finish up whatever homework you have.
All right, so our next question is, how many total classes do you have per semester? How long does the work usually take?
The average on Illinois Tech's campus is around 15 to 16 credit hours, which is usually around 5 or so classes that people normally take. Now, since I am double majoring and trying to get a master's and all that jazz much earlier, I've actually been overloading almost every semester since my second or third semester here at IIT. So it's significantly more work because it's like 7 classes at least every semester. The semester I have 8. And so that really just depends on your level of comfort, what you're trying to do, and like how long, and like how much work you can put in without over exhausting yourself.
So for WPI, we still have semesters, but they're broken in the terms. So each term is 7 weeks, and in those 7 weeks, you're taking 3 classes, and the classes are like a full semester's worth, but they're in 7 weeks. So each term, I'm taking 3 classes, and then there is an option to overload and take 4, and I've done that a few times. And then in the semester, you'll have the 2 terms, so it still averages out to 6 classes or possibly 7, but you're just taking 3 at a time in 7 weeks, and then 3 at a time in another 7 weeks. And then it looks like, how long does the work usually? I think for me, it just depends on the class. Like more of the classes in my major seem to be a little bit more involved with projects, but like things that are just like math, like or basic math classes, they don't really take as long, at least.
Typically at Rose, pretty much every single class is 4 credit hours, and most students take around 16 credit hours. So 4 classes per quarter. We have 10-week quarters, so that's 10 weeks that you're just focusing on those 4 classes. If you work ahead, which I admit I do not always do, it's definitely only a couple hours a night getting all your homework done. If you procrastinate like me, it might be a lot the night before, but yeah.
Or a lot the night of if you have things that are due at 12.
Yes.
I would suggest you don't do that, but if you do that, make sure you do it smartly and well and submit it not at 11:59, but at least at 11:55.
Okay, here's another question. We talked about a lot of this. This one's kind of different. What's an odd or unexpected club on your campus?
Ooh, I can go first for this one. We have a Quidditch team. And I think it's really funny. They like play on, I think either the quad or some other green field on campus. And they have like bludgers and they have the quaffle, and it's very, very nerdy, but it's very, very cute. Like, I don't think you'd find that in a lot of places.
At Rose-Hulman's campus, we have a concrete canoe club. We have a man-made lake in the middle of campus, which you can actually see behind Ashlyn's in her background. Speed Lake. And they just work on making a concrete canoe that floats. And I don't know how they do it, but my English teacher from high school knew that they did this. So that was my first impression of Rose, her telling me to come back with the secrets for how to make concrete float, which I still don't have, but.
I know for my school, I'm personally not in this club, but I have a lot of friends in it. So we have a cheese club, and it's literally just for cheese lovers, cheese crafts, like foods with cheese in it. I've been to like a few meetings, and there is just really overwhelming, but it's really cool. Like if you love cheese, you're gonna love the club. Like everything's cheese, and then they have another club that's off of that, like Gompy's goat cheese, and it's more like a business type aspect of it. But the cheese club in general, it's very interesting. I never thought I'd see that, but it's nice. They have nice cheese though.
That's amazing. That's a club I could for sure get behind. Okay, another question is, can you study abroad at your school? Have any of you studied abroad, or can you touch on maybe friends that have?
So you definitely can study abroad when you're here at IIT. I personally have not, but I do know people that have, including my big and my sorority who studied abroad in France for a semester. And so she did that her sophomore year, which is when most people decide to study abroad, just because your classes aren't too technical to the point where it would be hard to find those specialized classes abroad. But you know enough about the current school that you're in and about your major to know what you want to take and to really be able to take in that experience abroad. We have study abroad locations pretty much everywhere. So if you like pick a continent or a country that you want to go to, you can probably find like a study abroad program there. Also, a really cool thing about it is that like the scholarships that you do have from our school will usually apply, or some amount of financial aid will apply towards the study abroad that you are doing.
So at WPI, there's like spaces built. So it's a project-based school. So there's 3 main projects: your major qualifying project, your interactive qualifying project, and then your humanities project. And usually for your interactive qualifying project, which is your IQP, a lot of students study abroad because a lot of the project sites are global. Like there are also like domestic ones in the US and then local ones in Massachusetts. But I haven't studied abroad yet, but I know a lot of like that's usually what you complete in your junior year. Like so mine's in D term, and it was actually going to be more of a local one in Massachusetts, but I have friends who've went to other places. Like one of my friends just came back from Albania, and she was doing her project there, and I have another friend who is in China as well, so that's nice.
Rose also has lots of really cool study abroad opportunities. I have not done one. I have kind of chosen the Res Life track, which requires me to stay on campus to live in a freshman residence hall. But It's still an option if you do want to be an RA. We currently have an RA who studied abroad last year in Ireland. So there's lots of really cool opportunities there. And the Center for Global Engagement is super willing to work with students with that. We also have a major international computer science that focuses on study abroad. So you'll do your first 2 years at Rose building those computer science skills, and then your junior year, I believe, you go to Germany for study abroad there. So if that's something you're interested in and you're interested in computer science, that is a super cool opportunity.
Okay, we have another question sent in. Students that are listening in, if you have any other questions, I would go ahead and send those in now because we have about 5 minutes left. So this question is, what kind of makerspace does each of your schools have?
So Illinois Tech has this space that we call the Idea Shop. And we also have like specific spaces that are different for the architecture students, just because they use tools and stuff more often than the rest of the school, because they're always working with models and it's always hands-on. And as a computer scientist, I don't necessarily need to work with wood as much as they do. But our Idea Shop is a really, really cool space. It was actually kind of like renovated and finished up at the beginning of last year. And it's in our new Kaplan building, which is a center for innovation in our school. So we have like 3D printers, laser scanners, laser printers, lots of other cool machinery that I probably can't name right now. But yeah, it's you don't have to be working on a specific school-based project to be able to use that machinery. As long as you have gone through the safety training for it, you can walk in and use that space even for your personal projects. And it's completely free of cost. You just have to pay for the materials that you are using.
And there was another question to go along with this one. If you guys want to answer as well, it's how do freshmen get access to this makerspace? I think you kind of answered that, but
yeah, so you can just, as long as you walk in and get safety trained, and that safety training is done with the students and staff that are working in the Idea Shop. So as long as you go through that, you will have access to the makerspace. You basically tap your ID when you go in.
So for WPI's makerspace, it's in one of the newest buildings, which is the Foisey Innovation Studio. And back when I was a RBE major, robotics engineering major, all you really needed obviously was training as well, but a lot of the materials were provided in the class that you would use in the makerspace, like when you were creating your robot or whatever. And then there's smaller, similar types of makerspaces too. Like back in the shop I worked in Washburn shops, there's also a lot of like CNC machines and other type of tools like that. But Foisey's the one in Foisey's a really big one. There are 3D printers and a whole lot of other cool little gadgets and things that I really don't remember.
At Rose, we have the BIC, the Brennan Innovation Center, and we just recently built the KIC, the Kramer Innovation Center, that are connected buildings that have lots of fun toys to play with. They have like 3D printers, like lathes, all that kind of stuff. The Concrete Canoe Club that I talked about has like space in the BIC that they work on all of that. So there's a lot of spaces to support those like technical clubs and all the tools that they need. Also, I had to work in the BIC for one of my classes, and it was super, super easy. My freshman year, first quarter that I was here, just did an online training through Moodle, which is like our website that everything is run through basically, especially now in a pandemic. And I was able to go in and as a freshman use the lathe and make cool stuff with it. It's definitely available like outside of hours as well, just for students. If you take the safety training, you can just scan your ID, get in, use whatever tools you need.
Ooh, one thing that we usually mention, I'm not sure how well this picks up on camera, but our name tags were all laser cut in our Idea Shop as well. So it's got like my name on it. It says SOAR because it's from student orientation. I couldn't find my admissions one. I swear I have it. Carolyn, don't yell at me.
All right, well, it looks like we've got about a minute left, so we'll probably be kicked off at about 1 minute, because I know it's a hard cutoff. So if there's any last minute questions, you can send those in, and if we're not able to answer them live, We'll all follow up with an email to you. We're glad you all tuned in to listen to us this evening and learn a little bit more about our institutions.
Awesome. Thank you all so much for all that really useful information. It was so fun to get to hear from the students. So thank you for being willing to share that. And thank you all for attending this session. I hope that you got lots of information. Please let us know what you thought of the session. There's a 4-question survey that will appear when you close this window. We would love your feedback as it's really useful as we prepare for future presentations. Also know that you can sign up for more sessions if you loved this one. Go to iacac.org to register for any of those additional sessions or to watch any of the recordings as well. But thank you all so much for your time this evening, and I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your night. Take care.